Hey everyone, Austin here again with another quick play. This time it's going to be a game called Radirgy or Radio Allergy. This is a game created by Milestone. It was an early 2000s game. I believe it was an arcade game, but it was also ported to platforms like the Dreamcast, PlayStation 2, and beyond. Kind of an interesting game. It uses a cel-shaded graphic style, which is very unique for a shoot-'em-up. And yeah, I actually, despite owning this game for quite some time now, I haven't put a ton of time into it. So pardon me if I don't know all the details and stuff like that. I did do a light brush up on strategies and like what scoring is and stuff like that in this before doing this video. But yeah, I am far from an expert at this game, but I just wanted to show it off in the form of a quick play. I know I've shown it off on a couple of PS2 shmup streams a long time ago. But I feel like this quick play format is actually good for showcasing some of these more obscure shooters that you may not have checked out before. And this one in particular, if you had no idea... If you had no idea it was a shmup, you never would have figured it out by just looking at the cover of the game. It's just, all it is literally just an interesting artistic take on what I'm guessing are Japanese logos. Nothing about spaceships, nothing about shooting, until you look at the back of the box. So unless you were really diving deep into trying to figure out what this box was, you never would have figured out it was a shoot 'em up. But yeah, it's a shoot 'em up, and it's pretty fun. It's unique. I'm glad to have it in my personal PS2 shmup collection because, you know, it definitely balances out the typical cave bullet hells that I like to play a lot, and, you know, some of the more traditional shooters like Gradius and Raiden. So... But, yeah, for anybody just joining us for the first time, this is my channel, Gameplay and Talk, and this is my simple video series of games where I basically just fire them up and just kind of see what we can do with them. So, you know, sometimes we do pretty well, other times, like in the case of this, we might not do so well. So, but we shall see. If I remember correctly, the first couple levels in this, they're really not that difficult. So, you know, people should be able to jump in and get a couple levels in at the very least. But we shall see. So with that, let's go ahead and hit the start button here and get into our main menu. Now, we are playing in Tate mode. If you go to the options menu, you do have different screen settings, which is nice. You can also change your controls, which is very typical. Battery is actually your health bar, so we're going to go ahead and leave it on the default 3. Apparently, you can earn more hit points over the course of the game, so we'll see if we actually manage to do that. You know, these are basically lives, you know, so think of it as like having 3 lives and then being able to earn extra lives. It does save your high scores and stuff like that, and it does save to the PS2 memory card, obviously. You can have it set to auto-save, which is great. Let's go ahead and just do arcade mode here. I don't know what Okawari mode is. I have never tried that before. It could very well just be some kind of arrange mode. Anybody watching this that's a fan of shmups and is familiar with this game knows what that is. Let me know. Drop a comment down below. I'm just curious what that is. I'll probably experiment with it sometime, but not on today's video. So yeah, you have multiple shot types you can pick from. I think I'm most comfortable with the green spread shot, so we're going to go ahead and do that, but you do have, you know, quite a few options here. What's actually kind of neat, you'll notice that as you change the shot type, your ship color actually changes, which is very cool. You also have speed settings, which is also kind of interesting. Looks like I'm on the default speed setting. So this kind of will go over, I guess, like, you know, like a basic tutorial. So, a lot of interesting things going on here. As you can see, the battery up top, that's your life bar. Also, next to it on the left is apparently a score multiplier. It tells you how many, you know, multiplications are going on. There are score multipliers on this to boost your score heavily. You've got your main shots, and you've also got a sword. And the sword, I think, does a lot of damage, so it's good to actually use your sword a lot. Another interesting thing about this game is that you don't actually die by slamming into enemies. You can actually go straight through enemies, so you can actually sit right on top of them. Very cool. Underneath your green stuff up top, there's a green meter. That actually is a score multiplier meter as well. Your actual score is on the top right, and it's what they just did right there is they demonstrated this thing called the ABS system, where when your bottom bar in the bottom left fills up all the way, you can use the ABS button and it will make you invincible for a short period of time. When you come out of it, you'll also remain invincible for a couple seconds. Also, apparently, if you don't shoot, there's a little barrier that appears on the front of your ship that will also block certain bullets, as they're demonstrating right now. And it looks like that might actually lead to a score multiplier boost, which is nice. There are lots of like item pickups in the playfield and things like that. So, yeah, look at that. Building their score multiplier. You can see that green meter going up at the top. It's kind of an interesting system, and there's also another multiplier that goes on top of that. It's kind of crazy actually, and I really like how the scoring is in this game. It just seems like one of those shooters that, well, it seems very complex, you know, on a surface level. It actually, you know, seems pretty easy to adjust to. I don't think there are really tons of nuances in terms of like making point items appear. Now, apparently this is modeled after classic caravan shmups, and, you know, in caravan shooters, what happens is the faster you kill waves of enemies, the more waves of enemies appear. And apparently Radirgy takes after that, and so it rewards killing enemies as fast as possible. So let's go ahead and hit the skip button. There's a lot of story and stuff like that, but you can skip through most of it, which is nice. Alright, so there we go, we are shooting. Let's go ahead and try the ABS functionality, and then go ahead and use our sword while we're at it. Now, because a lot of these point icons, or sorry, not really point icons, but just icons in general, are mostly in Japanese, it's, you know, I can't really tell you off the top of my head what each of them does. So we're just gonna kind of wing it. We're gonna collect everything we can. And let's see if I can, maybe build some multiplier here. So if we don't fire, we can block some bullets. Let's go ahead and use that ABS gauge. Now the fun thing about the ABS system is that you can basically link ABS usage back and forth. Remember, when you're using the ABS gauge, you are invincible when you go into ABS mode. So you can actually technically stay invincible for quite some time. A lot of these ground enemies will actually drop items, or point icons, I should say. They come in the form of a variety of different objects. Just standard objects. There we go, use the ABS again. One thing I really like about this game too, it's got like a really funky house soundtrack, which is definitely something you don't typically hear in shoot-em-ups. So it's very refreshing to go back to this game and just hear its music. It's very chill, it's very funky, I really enjoy it. Apparently, there's, I think on stage 5, there's a Milestone item that you can get. It's a Milestone logo. So, yeah, it's basically like another one of those ground icons that you can pick up. Now, for anybody that watched my Esgaluda video, my quick play of that, it was a pretty failed run, unfortunately. We are still using the same setup. Again, we're playing this in Tate mode, and I am using the Hori RAP2 for PS2. Which is a pretty good arcade stick, but like I said in that other video, I do need to try to open it up and see if, you know, it's possible to say swap the stick out, because it is very, very loose, which is not ideal for shoot-em-ups. You definitely want a stick that is nice and tight and responsive, because this is a genre where you've got to be on point. Very much got to be on point. So apparently bosses have, you know, quick kills. You need to attack their weak parts, which I honestly don't know what they are. So again, we're just, you know, like I said, I'm not really an expert at this game. I have played it on and off over the years, but not a lot. You know, I don't go back to it like I go back to like Gradius 5 or, you know, Raiden 3 or something like that. Looks like we got the boss. Alright, let's go ahead and skip all that. Story stuff. A lot of weird screen tearing there, which is interesting to see. You will notice that this version slows down quite a lot, too. I'm actually very curious about, say, like the Dreamcast release and how it compares to the PlayStation 2 version. I'm also thinking I should probably try to get some score multipliers going. Like, my multiplier up top isn't really... I don't even think I'm at like a 2x multiplier right now. Okay, now I'm at some kind of multiplier, I think. Yeah, I'm at 2x now. Okay. So it seemed like you really need to balance out using your shield here, so you can try to get your multipliers going. Like I said, it's an interesting system. There we go. Okay, we got some multipliers. Let's see if we can get some more. So it seems like what you probably want to do is do a mixture of, you know, ABS usage and then letting your shield come out. And then just kind of like sitting on top of enemies and building that multiplier. Let's say, okay, so I'm kind of starting to figure this out, which is nice. And a lot of these bullets can get canceled out. Yeah, so it seems like attack stuff to build your ABS meter. And then when you're in ABS mode, you want to go ahead and just use your shield to get those, rack up those sweet multipliers. And then that's how you build your score a lot faster. Anyone watching that doesn't play a lot of shooters, you always got to remember that shooters are about scoring. It's a big aspect to them. Okay, so we're at an 8 times multiplier too. Yeah, I'm starting to see how these scores can snowball real fast. Oh man. So one thing I've also noticed is that you can actually attack with your sword and primary weapon at the same time. But your amount of projectiles on screen actually decreases if you do that. Back down to a 4x multiplier. Now, one good thing about all this slowdown is that it makes it a lot easier to, like, analyze what's happening on screen. So the slowdown definitely makes the game a little jarring to play. But, again, can make it a little bit easier. And that could be a good thing for some people. Oh, I took a hit. Okay. Yeah, so my ABS meter actually... I kind of misjudged the invincibility period. Yeah, so what happens at the end of the ABS is that it basically clears out all the bullets on screen. And so I need to get back when all the bullets disappear, because that's when my ABS is actually ending. Alright, there we go. All the bullets went away. So I had to get back. We've only got a 2x multiplier right now. It's a lot going on. Okay, I got back. I wonder if the boss timed out. Oh, no, it's coming back. Okay. It's just doing a different pattern now. Uh-oh, I gotta get back. It looks like I can attack some of those items with my sword. I don't know if it actually does anything. Although I did notice earlier that some of the items were changing the item type when I attacked it with the sword. So, kind of interesting. So that was actually kind of interesting. I was getting score multipliers there even though I wasn't using my shield. Yeah, the little shield that comes out on the front of your ship. Yeah, so now I'm trying to figure out how to make those, what they call them green pills. It actually, they don't really look like pills from a distance because of just the small size of the sprite. Actually, I don't even know if they're sprites, they might actually be real 3D objects. That could actually explain some of the slowdown in this game. I have no idea, I'm just speculating. Oh man, it seems difficult to keep your multipliers up. Uh-oh. So now there is apparently a tiny little backpack on the back of your ship, and that's your hitbox for anybody wondering. So it looks like your ship is really large, but the active hit area is actually just that tiny little box. So now the game is showing some teeth. I like teeth in my shooters. I like when shooters get intense, you know, it's one of the fun things about the genre, is like, you have to actually start working. Yeah, I attacked that orange square, and it turned into one of those blue icons. Which, now that I think about it, I want to say the blue icons are actually just point icons. I think that's what they are. You know, I guess one thing I could also be doing is using my shield to just block all these bullets, and that could help me build my multiplier, but it seems like a really risky proposition. Now we have blue bullets, apparently. And I think what happens with these ground icons that we can pick up is, I want to say every one you pick up, it like is kind of like its own little scoring mechanism. Like the values of the point icons will actually increase as you pick up more. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but it might be something along the lines of like Gigawing, where the point icons in that, the medals that you get, it's like, the first one is worth 1, the second one is worth 1 plus whatever the second one is. So It's another one that's worth 1. It's 1 plus 1. And then maybe the next medal is worth 5. So it's 1 plus 1 plus 5. And it basically, the values increase exponentially. They snowball exponentially. And it could be how, like, these ground point icons work in this game. Yeah, I'm really struggling to keep my multiplier up, though. That's definitely something I'd like to work at eventually, because I like how the scoring system functions in this. It seems pretty fun, actually. Oh, I did not see that coming. It's what we call, some of my old friends and I used to call insta-beams. Where a laser just appears kind of out of nowhere. And it can be a little tough to deal with sometimes. Especially if you don't know the boss fight, which I don't, because I don't play this game very often. Oh, there's another one. Reminds me of a sort of pattern style you'd see in a game like Radiant Silvergun. I do wonder if the game was influenced to some degree by a game like Silvergun. I mean, you got a sword, you know, some of those boss patterns are slower compared to your usual, like, bullet hells. This is definitely what I would consider a bullet hell, for sure. Like, it gets pretty crazy with bullets. But you notice that, like, a lot of the boss patterns have been fairly slow. So, you know, less memorization required. You can actually improvise, I think, quite well. Oops. Alright, so I guess I don't have any lives left. My battery is on its last bar. We're at a 4x multiplier, which is nice. Back down to 2x, unfortunately. Seems like point-blanking enemies might actually work pretty well here with my spread shot. For anyone that doesn't play a lot of shooters, point-blanking is when you have something like a spread shot, you get up close, and you make sure every projectile connects. That's how you do maximum damage with your spread shots. I'm gonna guess we're at a boss fight. Let's see. Yeah, it seems like these guys are a little more tricky to deal with. Gonna go ahead and just try to use my spread shot, stay back, because I don't know these patterns at all. I'm just kind of winging it. Got my hand on the ABS button just in case. Because again, you're invincible for a short period of time. Uh-oh. And I might have to play this game some more later tonight. One thing I've been doing lately is playing a lot of rhythm games on PS2, specifically Beatmania 2DX. It's something I got back into earlier this year. And so every Saturday for the last couple of months I've been playing Beatmania after I get off work. You know, try to get at least one good session in every week on that game. But then sometimes I'll like play some shoot 'em ups afterwards, and so I might actually have to do that later tonight with this game. Play it some more. Now that like the scoring is starting to make a little more sense to me. Still no extra life though, unfortunately. Apparently your health bar can actually go up to 5. You can actually have 5 lives, basically. At an 8x multiplier. Now look how crazy this is. We're at 16x multiplier. We're just using ABS after ABS over and over. This is what it's all about. This is really cool. Oh, that was close. Looks like I earned an extra life too. Probably from the points. That's cool. They're throwing cars at me. It's kind of funny. The game definitely can have some fun personality, that's for sure. I love shmups with personality. Man, this is tricky. This is very tricky. Oh, I took a hit. That's not good. And I think that's game over. Is that game over? I'm pretty sure. Yep, that's game over. Well, I'm just gonna do one credit on this. So that is Radirgy, Radio Allergy. Really cool. Actually got a little bit farther than I expected, considering like I'm not as familiar with this as I am with something like Escaluda. But yeah, hopefully you guys thought that was interesting. I've probably got a couple more shmups on the way for anybody curious about those. But yeah, this was a fun one to do. Mostly because I don't play it very often, and like every time I go back to it, I completely forget the details. But I feel like, you know, I absorbed enough on that run where, you know, I could see myself going back and trying to put more credits onto it. So, and I might even do that later tonight. So, we shall see. I'm going to do my Beatmania session, and then I'll probably play some more of this. And then I'll probably work at some more Dodonpachi Daiojo as well, which I will probably not do a quick plate of, because it's super difficult. I mean, there are some times where I can't even get past the first level without dying, so no point in showing that one off here. I think I have a shmup stream on PS2 from earlier this year, though, that showcases that one, so. But yeah, again, that was Radio Allergy, or Radirgy, and yeah, pretty fun game. If this looked interesting to you, consider checking it out. I know the Japanese PlayStation 2 version, I don't think is too expensive. I know many years ago it was like one of the cheaper shooters for PS2. And actually, I'm gonna go look it up right now to kind of see what the current prices are for it. So just bear with me here for a second. Holy crap, this game's really shot up in price. What the freaking hell? Okay, this used to be like a $15 game all day. Now it's like 90. 90 at a bare minimum. Okay. Well, it's on other systems, and you can obviously, especially the Dreamcast version, you can play it via other means. You don't necessarily need to buy it, but yeah, I'm actually really surprised the PS2 version shot up in price. It's so weird. This retro gaming market, as I'm doing this video, is just so odd. I mean, games that aren't even really all that in demand and never have really been all that popular. Like Radio Allergy has never really been all that popular. It's always been seen as quirky and, you know, it's not your typical edgy space shooter with driving music. You know, it's cel-shaded graphics, it's kind of cartoonish looking as a result, it's got, you know, a fun theme, and it's got house music as the music. It's not your typical shooter, that is for sure. But it doesn't mean it's not fun and it's not worth checking out, so. But hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing this one, for some of you probably for the first time, so. But yeah, that's gonna do it from me, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'll be back with some other videos sometime soon, surely. And, you know, yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. Yeah, that's gonna do it for me. Feel free to give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, and you want to be spammed with other gameplay and talk recommendations. And feel free to subscribe too if you like content like this. I do a wide variety of stuff here in terms of the games I showcase. For everybody already subbed, thanks as always for your usual support. It does mean a lot to me. And yeah, that's it, guys. I guess until the next one, take it easy.